Hello, my name is Mariana, and today this is a reading for Libra. So, Libra, as usual, I'm doing this reading with my own tarot deck, so the cards that you see are from this deck. So, Libra, it feels like you want to isolate yourself from social engagement, from people around you. It seems like you really want to dive into your own energy just to reset, recalibrate yourself. Maybe because you have been overstimulated or overwhelmed perhaps, and now it seems like you just need some space for yourself, because we're beginning with the Hermit. So you're very consciously, very determinedly entering this zone of, please don't come over to my bedroom, don't come over to my home, don't speak to me, don't call me, just leave me alone for a bit, right? It's like you need this time for yourself. And I feel like the interesting thing, before anything else came, it's like I was seeing this intention of trying to reorganize yourself, right? Trying to reestablish some sort of groundedness or kind of. It's interesting because the word resetting is coming once and again with this card. It feels like maybe, you went to some sort of like engagement, like some sort of gathering or activity that really shook you in a sense, or really took you off balance. And I feel like it's like your path to recalibrating your own energy. So it's like you're wise enough to make sure that after all of these social engagements, we are in the time of year that it's very, very common. So it's like that you need this time, that this is necessary for you. But the thing about this card being followed by the Tower, the alignment of both of these cards, it's actually come up in a few readings already. And whenever I see both of them aligned in this way, I typically see like a temporary shelter versus a very established, fixed and secure and apparently so stable foundational place of security, right? Both of them are bringing this idea of isolation. One that is a little bit more raw, or a little bit more, again, it's coming through as a temporary shelter. It's not that it's temporary, meaning that you never have like one space, but this is like your sacred space, right? So it's almost, maybe this is a mindset, right? Maybe this is even like a, just some sort of like mental process or like breathing technique that you do, or some sort of like mental space that you enter, right? That's the reason why it doesn't need like a fixed space. Although with the Tower, I'm seeing that, right? It's like here you're gathering your thoughts again. Here you're just finding your center again, rebalancing. But then, because of somebody in particular, I want to say, who might not really know boundaries around you, or you are very maybe afraid of setting firmer boundaries with this person in particular. And because okay, so the information is coming through in a way that, yes, you do have this ability, Libra, that you can, it's almost like you can go off in a very wondrous path, a mental path that you can like flee, or you can escape in a sense, right? It's like this escapism technique, right? You can escape with your imagination to a temporary mental state that helps you to calibrate your energy. But because it seems like you're entering, because this feels like home, right? I typically see the Tower as home, as a place where, within the walls of the Tower, you're not going to be bothered. You're not going to be annoyed or interrupted in any way, right? But the interesting thing about the comparison between these two, if you were to look and see this one as the temporary shelter, this would be a lot more fragile in a sense than this one. But the thing about the tower, and in this case particularly, it has no doorway, or it has like such a big entrance that whomever knows about this place, or whomever knows about this place that you go, because the tower, yes, is, you know, just bringing the idea of a specific location, right? It's like a 3D specific shelter, right? A place that you know that you can go, where you can find this isolation. But this Queen of Swords coming next, this queen came through as a very chatty person, right? It's like they don't know their own limits in terms of stopping to talk. Like they just talk and talk and talk and talk, like nonstop, right? It's like they don't know when to stop. They have a hard time just being silent. And this is what you need right now. It's like what you need, it's just peace and quiet. It's like you don't need anybody to disturb your ambient, your like your environment, really, right? But as I said, it's like your environment is just a reflection of your mental state. So it's like maybe you just don't want, it's like you're not in the mood for having a conversation. Even more so, one that might be very superficial or very demanding is the word that is coming through, right? Maybe because the way that it's coming through, the relationship between the queen and the tower, it's almost like they know very well this place. They might very well be like, you know, the owner of this place, right? So they may be a boss, they may be a parent, they may be a grandparent, they may be, you know, an older sibling, or, you know, a grandparent, or whomever they are, Libra, because you're both coming through with a little bit of a difference in, like, in age, right? There might be a gap in the age between you and this person, or there is completely like clear to you, I want to say, because you're coming through as the Knight of Swords, this gap between the interest, right? The like what you're seeking and what they're seeking, because it's like they have the key to the door. That's the reason why this door is open. It's like, yes, you're here in this mental scape, but you are in a physical space that is not exactly your own. So because it's like there is this agreement with the owner of that space, right? Whomever is the one who has the keys. So it's almost like you do have access, but it's not entirely yours. And because of that, it's almost like you feel guilty not to attend to whatever is that they are demanding of you, right? Because the Knight, it's like takes orders from the Queen. So it's almost like the Queen is asking you to do something that requires you to remove yourself from this hermit mode, which right now is exactly what you need and exactly what you know is best for you. But it's almost like, even though you do have to be a little bit firm, right? It's like maybe because of the type of agreement that has been settled a long time ago, or maybe because of this difference in age, difference in roles, difference in positions, in maturity, whatever it is, or maybe just like the sense of duty, right? Your sense of duty towards her or towards whomever this person is. So I'm just looking at this Queen of Swords and just asking, like, trying to ask her, and, you know, me representing you, Libra, like, can't this just wait a second? Like, I really need some time for myself, right? And it's almost like you cannot vocalize it. You cannot, it's like you're trying to, maybe because things have been agreed in a certain way, that there is this imbalance between the two of you, even though there is a 6 that is here, and we're ending actually with another 6. But I feel like there is this imbalance in terms of who does the talking, which seems to be predominantly done by this one. And then you comes with, you know, the one who listens. It's like you are the one that is always there, you know, for them to cry over your shoulders, or, you know, to ask you to do something that, you know, maybe because you have never learned how to be a little bit firm to shut that door and say, no, I can't, at least not right now. It's like they don't know how to take a no as an answer, right? For them, it's always like whenever they come to you, it's like they take for granted that it's always going to be a yes. And if it's not, it's almost like there is this demand, right? Because I don't know exactly, this could be, you know, in so many different relationships, but it feels like there is this contract, because the Six of Swords here is actually coming through as like something that you wished. It's coming through as like the Six of Pentacles, but like dissolving, right? It's like the agreement that you had or that you have still with this person, because now you realize that you do need some time for yourself. And if this person doesn't respect that, it's like you don't want to be in this contract anymore. It's like you want that to dissolve, you want that to evaporate, you want to cut ties in a sense, right? And you want to do so in a way that is harmonious, because it's a 6. So it's not because of the maybe it is. Maybe because you're always there listening and listening and listening, and it's like they never get to ask you how you are so that you can talk. Maybe because you also, it's like you're also a very, very private person, right? You don't get to share many things or many details, or, you know, just thoughts and things that go through your mind. It's like you'd rather do that on your own, because that's how you know that you can calibrate your energy. It's almost like their way to self-regulate in terms of their thoughts, their impressions, whatever it is, their plans. It's like by going to you. And because you've been always there, it's almost like they take that for granted, but it's almost like you want out of it, right? And we already saw that with the Hermit. Even before this one appeared, it's almost like this one aggravates and just makes you more certain that you need some time off. It's like you need time for yourself. And it's not like, you know, time to distract yourself, because it's the Hermit, right? So it's implying this self-study type of moment, right? It's like time for self-reflection, time for meditation, time for contemplation, for just, you know, being with yourself, but not mindlessly, right? But also like learning how to draw that boundary in a way that it's like you don't leave the door open in a sense, but it's like you can dissolve this contract in a loving way. And it's almost like that's the challenge here, I want to say, Libra, because as I said, there is like some sort of binding connection between the two of you. And maybe the way to resolve that is almost like telling them that you're going, but you're leaving a trail for them to follow. But it's almost like they're tied to the castle, they're tied to the tower. So it's almost like they have opened their home, their business, their office, their place, their life for you to enter and have this moment whenever you need it. But it's not like it's not for nothing, right? It's almost like they have done that maybe with some sort of personal interest in their mind, right? So they had like this intention of always having you close by whenever they needed to talk, right? So now it's almost like maybe you wish that they could surrender to this process. You know, maybe if we're talking about like, you know, wanting to go on a retreat, like a silent retreat, right? A silent retreat specifically, right? Because it's like they're the chatty one. So it's almost like you know how challenging this would be for them, but for you, it's almost like this is so easy, right? It's like this is your natural go-to way to calibrate your energy. But because of this contract and because you don't want the ties to be in this imbalanced way, it's almost like maybe the way to still be partners in a gentle way, not in a overbearing way, not in a convincing way. Like, you're not trying to prove that they are wrong in doing whatever they're doing or dealing with, whatever they have, with the way that they're doing. But your way is different than theirs, right? And it seems like their way requires your presence, but your way doesn't require anybody's presence. And that's what perhaps you're trying to show them, but not showing as in expecting them to follow, but just saying, I'm going. If you want to come, just, be my guest. I'm going to allow you, like, to follow me. And it's not allow, but it's like, it's almost like here are the steps, right? Here's the trail. It's like, come follow me if you'd like. But I feel like there is going to be a little bit of resistance, and it's almost like a splitting of the path because you're going, they're staying, right? And for them, it might be a little bit of like a point of a turning point. That's the word that I was looking for. The Seven of Swords, it's just one step from the Six, but they have very, very different qualities, very different motions. The Six of Swords is like one of surrender, one of just letting go and, allowing, right? That's the reason why I said, like, because, okay, so it's not that you are allowing them, you are allowing yourself by dissolving, in a sense, this type of agreement, right? Of them always come to find you and demanding that you listen, right? Because that could be also the demanding part, right? It's not that they're demanding something from you. They're just demanding you to stay there and listen. But you need to, be in a quiet environment to listen to your own thoughts. So it's almost like they're creating a tower moment for you because, you went there maybe because they have opened the doors for you, but also because they do have the key to that doorway. It's like whenever you're there, it's always a tower moment, right? Because it's almost like you don't have peace of mind because it's always revolving around this person, right? Whenever they're here, they might not be here every single time, but every time that they're here, it's like they cannot stop talking, right? And can be, very tiresome for you, right? I can feel like, the unrest, right? It's like you need rest. And what they're giving, maybe they are, maybe they have, by allowing you to be here, to be in this cozy, protected environment. It's like they were provided, maybe because this is where they came, to find this shelter, right? So, maybe that's the reason why they offer this to you, but it's almost like you're entering a place that you don't have peace of mind at all, right? And I feel like that's because for you, whenever you think of releasing, it's like when you do this self-reflection here, it's like you're doing with the intention of releasing, of letting go, of surrendering, right? Allowing these emotions, these thoughts, all of this energy to be purged out of you, right? This is the motion of the Six of Swords. But what they're doing whenever they're coming here, right? Because the tower is like this circular place where the problem is always there, right? So it's almost like it's almost like they don't want to get rid of their problems. They don't want to get rid of their issues, right? Maybe they only talk about one thing and one thing only, right? Whenever they come to you, it's like they come always from, the same perspective or, a very slightly different one, but always the same subject, always the same point of view, always the same target is what I just heard. So that's because they are in the Seven of Swords. And so I feel like this breaking of this contract, or the dissolution of this contract, is because maybe they saw you as somebody that they could count on to listen to them. But now that it's like now that you're learning about, boundaries and setting your own boundaries, even though this might be a temporary shelter, is a place for your own mind to escape, right? That you're not going to be disturbed here. But unless you find that place for yourself, you surrender and you go in that direction, and you kind of understand that here it wasn't really the escape you needed. It wasn't really the sanctuary that was going to provide you the safety, the protection, right? It might have been, but not, at least not right now. And I feel like there is going to be like this nostalgic moment because of the Six of Cups that is ending here. So you see here how the swords are pointing up and then the hearts are pointing down. And here they are, right in the middle, like, just circling around through and through, without, it's like they're still very much entangled with their own issues, right? And maybe because they are tied to a specific place, and the place itself is just acting as an echo chamber, right? This is how I'm seeing. It's like and maybe that's the reason why you couldn't, even though you did have like this amazing technique to escape, whenever you had to, even though the environment wasn't the most suitable. It's like it's very clear to you now that this environment is not, it's just echoing some sort of problem, some sort of energy that is not necessarily yours. It's like maybe you were still there, and offering your, just offering your ears, but I was going to say offering your shoulders, but it's more like offering your ears for this person to speak and say whatever they had to say, but no longer, right? Because it's like creating this spiral of voices, right? Because it's like they just can't stop talking. So the Six of Cups, it's like this way to do so in a very loving way, in a very kind way, a way to dissolve this contract, but allowing them to see that there is a trail that they can follow you, whether or not they're ready to do so, right? Because they will have to leave their tower and, go on this journey of finding a temporary shelter, but is one that is wiser and it's more grounded than even like this one that they think is, safer, is more stable. The Six of Cups is just talking about like you, Libra, remembering, because I feel like this has been going on, right? The dynamic and the conversations with this one. Maybe you've had chances in the past of saying to them everything that you think about this dynamic, about how there is this imbalance and there is this need to rebalance yourself, because you have been on the listening end for quite some time, and now you need to just listen to yourself, right? But you can do so, as I said, in a very accepting way, that this is just the natural way, because you don't want to be entangled in their story, right? In their issue. It's like they're going to have to do this process for themselves, just the way that you are doing, right? So, but you can do it in a very kind way. It's like, remember, it's like you've had chances in the past. It's like maybe now it's a moment that it's like you won't regret, because, maybe you do regret not doing this in the past, or not having the courage to step up for yourself in this situation. But now it seems like you are, right? Because you have this, it's almost like you have no strings attached anymore, right? So Libra, I am going to pull more cards for you, as well as the astrological runes in the extended reading. So if you want to join me there, I'll be very happy to see you. You can find the link down below. If not, I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.